Addiction's known as a family disease because it doesn't just impact the person that's using. It impacts people's family, their friends, their coworkers, their teachers, everybody. If you've known anybody that's ever struggled with active addiction, it's probably impacted you.
A lot of people were suspicious of what I was doing with my life, and they had an idea that something was going on, but through recovery and through this process, I had to share this with a lot of people that I wasn't willing to do before. I wasn't willing to ask for help, and I wasn't willing to, to share kind of what was going on with my life with even my family members, my close friends.
My ex and I were homeless at the time. We stayed at the Y, going to the point where I'm now in jail for even 30 days was like a slap in the face for me. My parents told me, did you commit, as I'm calling from jail for the first time, did I commit the crime that I'm in jail for? And I said, yeah. And they said, okay, we'll see you when you have court. And they did not bail me out. My bail was $300. My parents had $300, and they were good parents, and they knew what they were doing, and they knew that if I got bailed out, I would go do the same thing. Just keep repeating the same cycle.
My mom struggled with it really bad because, she thought it was her fault, and so did my dad, and there's so much confusion about addiction. No one can really make anything of it, not even addicts, so it's hard, and everyone comes to different conclusions and different solutions, and my mom had to be put on medication because her anxiety was so terrible because I overdosed 9 times. And so she didn't know whether it was going to be me calling to say, hey, I made it through today, or someone else calling and saying, hey, your daughter passed away.
It hit us like a ton of bricks when she went into the hospital the first time with heroin overdose, because we had no idea. So that was a huge shock. We did not see it coming.
No, not at all.
I didn't know what to do or how to feel. I was literally, I couldn't hardly think of what to do.
I was furious, hurt, embarrassed, walk around with knots in your stomach 24 hours a day, waiting for the next call. What's it gonna be? What is it? The begging, the
Threatening.
It was just
The deal making, just the constant, the phone would ring and your heart would just stop because you just were expecting it to be that phone call that said she's gone.
But it all came crashing down just as it always does. My parents put me on the streets. Enough is enough.
she's done controlling our lives. It's not gonna happen anymore. And I made the decision, and it was the hardest thing I ever did. I said, she's not coming back in the house till she gets stuff together. By making that decision, there's times she showed up, rain and cold, whatever, and I turned her away. I said, nope, you're not coming in here. I mean, I didn't let her know, but I went back to the room and cried. Because that was my daughter that I just said no. But I had to, for us, for the family.
Growing up, my mom was addicted to opiates. She passed away when I was 15 years old due to an overdose, and it's affected my life greatly. I believe she got addicted was because of her doctor prescribing the medication. I know she was on Oxycontin and was on oxycodone. And also at the time too, she was being prescribed benzos, Xanax. Right after lunch, I went to my German class and sat down, got all settled in, and the principal came in and was looking straight at me. And I was confused because I never got in trouble, so I didn't know why the principal wanted to talk to me. And so he asked me to grab all my stuff, and we walked to his office, and I swear that was like the longest walk ever. I got into the principal's office and my grandma was bawling, and I asked her what happened. And she said that my mom had passed away. So I had to call my brother. And I called him, and he had to put me on hold because he was in the middle of lunch hour. And the longest time, like, being on hold felt like forever. And he got on the phone, and I told him that Mom had died, and just hearing his voice and hearing him, like, scream through the phone, that was just horrific. I don't ever want to hear that again. And then after that, my grandma and I got her stuff, and we headed to my house to say goodbye to my mom. And that was just weird. Pulling up, the coroner said to both my grandma and I that we shouldn't go see her just because of how she looked. And that was hard. It was just a surreal experience.